Hello everyone and welcome to this Python for Automation testing series. In this tutorial, we will be learning about assert keyword in Python. So let's begin. So what is this assert keyword in Python? Let me give you a very easy example so that you can understand the concept of this assert. So imagine you are leaving your house and you want to make sure that you have everything you need. You might need to double check, do I have my car keys, my wallet, my mobile, my office card, anything, right? So if that particular thing is not there, you stop there, go back to the home and then get those things. In Python, the assert keyword works similarly. It checks if the condition is true. If the condition isn't met, the program stops with an error. Now, when we talk about assert in technically, what are the definitions for this one? So let me go to the notepad over here and let me write it down for you. So assert keyword is basically used to test if a certain condition is true, and if the condition is true, the program continues. Okay, so if the condition is true, then program will continue. And if the condition is false, then what happens? So basically this assert will raise an assert error, and what also it will do is that it will stop the program and it will help you to catch the bugs earlier because it will stop the program. Okay, so this is basically a definition of this assert keyword. Now when we talk about assert, why we need to use this assert? So it helps in checking the errors, debugging, self-documentation. So these kind of for the verification of your application for the testing purposes. So these are different things for which you can use the assert keyword. Now when we talk about the syntax, so syntax is very simple. You need to go with like this: assert, then condition, and after that you will be having a optional message. Optional means that if you don't give it, that's okay, but you should give this message so that you can understand what is happening with your application, why this particular scenario is failing, why this particular code is failing. So that's why you should add the message. Okay, now let's take a real-time example where I will create a login function and I will go with or basically simulate a successful login if the username is user and password is password simply, and then we assert this login function and let's see how it works. So simply let's go here and let me create one new Python file. I will say this assert login. Okay, and simply I will create a function, login function, and here I'm giving, it will take username and password, and simply with a simple implementation I will say return username is equals to admin and password is equals to admin. Okay, so when I call this function, basically now when I call, it will basically return that username is admin and password is admin. Okay, now using the assert we can test this one. Okay, so simply I will say assert, okay, and then login, and you see that we have to provide the username and password, and let's go with the correct username and the password. So both cases, username and password is admin and admin, right? And I can provide the optional, right? So if this is true, the system will continue. If not, it will stop. Okay, so I'll say this is optional message. Okay, now simply run this one and see what happens. So you see that nothing appears, everything was successful because the assertion is passed, because we have the correct username and correct password. Now if I make changes here and if I run this one, so this time you see that the assertion got failed, and here I actually need to provide that invalid user and password. So this message makes more sense. So this invalid username and password, so the assertion got failed over here. Now let me give you more example of assert. For example, I can create a simple calculation for a sum and we can simply assert that. Okay, so let me create another file here and I'll say assert calculation, and here again I simply create a function and this function will calculate underscore total, and it will, so I will take some items, it will give a total of those items. Okay, and I'll say return, and it will return some of the items. Okay, and now I need to define the items here, and I say items, so I'm simply creating a list over here. So I'm saying that 10.20 comma 10.20 comma 30. So this is our simple list of items I need to sum. So for example, expected here is 30 plus 20 50 plus 10 60. Okay, so the expected underscore total is 60, right? And now let's assert this thing. Okay, simply go with the assert and calculate underscore total. Here I need to provide the items. Okay, and here is equals to expected. Now I'm actually comparing here, right? So one is expected and one is which we are getting from the items, right? So this is what we are expecting, and this is from here we are getting this particular sum, right? So that's where we are comparing to see either we are getting it is working fine or not. Okay, so expected total, and here I will say message total is wrong, for example. Okay, and if I run this one, you see that nothing happens because this is equal to this. Now if I go here and change the value, now these both two are different over here. Okay, so if I run this one, now this time we will got a assertion error, so the total is wrong. Okay, so this is how this assert is works. You need to verify the things using the assert. Okay, and the key points which you need to remember against the assert is that the first thing is that when assertion fails, it raises an assertion error. This is the thing, the assertion error. Okay, and it prints the value which we give there as a message. Okay, now we need to avoid this thing in production when you are actually doing a development and testing, and this can be disabled in the production with the -o option when running the Python. Okay, and the practical use is obviously testing, data validations, any kind of verifications of your functions. You can do this using this assert. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you like our content, then do like, comment, share and subscribe our channel. Once again, thank you so much and see you in the next tutorial.